Come on, it's not dinner time yet. They always know when it's almost 3 o'clock, and it's not 3 o'clock. I don't care how many times you stare at me and step on my feet. What's up, guys? I have been now at this place, the same place, for 3 days, 4 days. I honestly couldn't tell you. And I'm going to be here probably for another week. During that time, I will continue to choose which place I'm going to buy a motor from, and hopefully I'll be able to get the kayak out over to the bridge. I might take the bass raider actually, and see if I can't catch a fish. That would be very nice. You know, I would love to show you guys all kinds of aspects to living on a boat. One of the things I wish I could show you is what it's like at night. I mean, when the lights are on, the little string of solar lights back here, can you see them? Oh my gosh, they look so neat. That string runs on solar actually. It reminds me of like when I was little, and this is a patch. Hold on. It was a little cold this morning. I got this patch. It makes heat. Thanks, Rich. Came in handy. You know, being on a boat and being at anchor reminds me of when I was a kid in the back of the park, a few blocks from where I lived. My friends and I built a tree house, and it didn't really belong to us, you know, the land, nor did the tree house. Anybody could have come along and ransacked it, you know. I mean, there were no other kids probably really knew it was there or whatever, so in a sense it really was ours. Just like this little anchorage right now doesn't belong to me, but nobody else is really coming around here, so in a sense this is mine. The boat's definitely mine, so it's a little more secure than this treehouse was when I was a kid. But it's very similar in that at night you have to light it with however you can. You can't just plug in. The solar energy has been pretty neat, not great. And it has been great, it just hasn't been all-encompassing. I have to start the generator every once in a while just to make sure that I'm not taxing the batteries too much, because you know, if it gets cloudy or something like that, the solar's having trouble keeping up with everything. That is the inverter, all the things I plug in, my iPad, the radio, the refrigerator. It does a tremendous job compared to nothing, but whatever. It's still not perfect, but it still provides enough so that I am comfortable. Again, I've been here for 3 or 4 days, and I'm comfortable being here for another week. You know, as long as my provisions hold up, I'll be all right. Water's good, dog food, and it really is magical. At night, again, it reminds me of being a kid in the treehouse. I don't know, man. If you liked that stuff as a kid, you know, many of you may not. But if you liked going out and camping and just exploring and being wild and independent, there really is nothing like living on the hook. Now that I've professed my love for camping out on my own little self-sustained island here, I'd be remiss to not talk about the things that are bad. Not bad, but maybe the less romantic side of it. Like you can see, I've got my my laundry hanging up, you know, and socks, and I'm not sure where my underwear is. I think I hung that up in a more discreet spot. But to do laundry on a boat, you know, requires some unorthodox thinking, I think. That's my upper arm workout for the day. You look exhausted. Oh yeah. You know, I feel strongly like my grandparents, my great-grandparents, if they're looking down on me, they're giving me a thumbs up, you know, from that YouTube up in heaven, you know, because they're like, good for you. good for you for not being reliant upon these machines that everybody uses to clean their clothes. Could you imagine? I wonder if there's anybody out there who has clean clothes like that. If not in a bucket, in a slop sink or something. I mean, it wasn't that long ago, and I'm 47 years old. Only until very recently, that's the only way I knew how to clean clothes. You know, if I didn't have a washing machine, I wouldn't know what to do. Well, there are ways to do it. They're not as romantic or whatever, but that's one of the things you'll have to deal with. Let me show you another thing. You may not be able to hear me, so I'm going to go back inside. That means you. Let's go. It is blow and stink out there. It may not look that bad, but this is a really protected estuary, and yet there are whitecaps out there. And when the wind swings a certain way, you feel the boat shudder and move. And when you're at anchor, it's one of the things that keeps your head on a swivel. As a matter of fact, I had made breakfast earlier, bacon and eggs, and it was quite delicious. Very delicious. The whole boat smelled of bacon. So as I was sitting there in heaven having my beautiful breakfast and looking at the computer and doing my job editing, I heard a banging from the back. What it was is the kayak was hitting the bass raider because both boats were drifting that way with those gusts of wind. The anchor had obviously let loose and we were drifting. And I looked up and I wasn't in the same spot. There is a little cut in the trees right there, and that was like down there. And we were on our way towards the Caloosahatchee out there. So yeah, I had to jump to action. I put my breakfast aside and I ran across to Mike's boat and I started his motors, since he's got two motors that are working, and I was able to slow the progress. My anchor was still out, and then I was confused as to what to do. So what I was able to do is leave one of his motors in gear. I think it was the port motor, and it was counterbalancing the push of the wind. And then I ran from his helm upstairs to my bow up front, and I was able to take my anchor up. And then I had to quickly get back on good times, drive us back over here, run from the helm to my bow, put the anchor back down with a little bit more road this time, and fortunately it stuck. But yeah, this is how I've been for the past couple hours now, because it's not cool when you drift anchor, you know. And I didn't have my anchor alarm set like you'd seen in the other video, and that's because I'd grown comfortable in this protected spot. Didn't expect the winds to pick up like they did. So yeah, that could have been ugly. We could have been aground. Fortunately, nothing happened. Fortunately, I was here and I wasn't out and about, you know. That's one of the uglier sides of living on the hook. You know, sometimes it's glorious and the sunsets are beautiful and the winds are calm, and then other times it can get nasty. And I am fully aware of the fact that what I experienced earlier, although nerve-wracking, is not nearly as bad as it can get. It wasn't raining, it wasn't blowing really, really hard. I'd like to think that I'm keen enough about the weather that I will see if it's going to be blowing like 40, 50. What I experienced was probably 20 to 30 as far as gusts. So, you know, it's just one of the things you have to experience. Over the next, I don't know, year or two, as I go around and experience these things, I'm going to try to share them with you as much as I can. I hope you enjoy the journey. I hope you guys learn from this just like I will. And I do hope that I can continue until I've completed the loop. I'm sometimes confident, I sometimes question myself, but that's the way you gotta be. No hubris here, that's for sure. Alright, there's my update for today. Sorry it's not really that exciting, but it's gritty, it's real. This is the way it really is if you're living on a boat. I will see you next time. Till then, enjoy yourselves, have fun wherever you are, and stay tuned. All right, is it ready? Is it time? Do you want food? I'm getting that look like you want food. All right. You know it's not time yet, right? You know I'm spoiling it, right? Oh yeah, you know that. Oh yeah. Happy day for puppy dogs. Okay. 1, 2, and okay, bang, bang. All right. No. Hmm.